The Starfield release is right around the corner, and my anticipation could not be any higher. I'm over the moon for it. There's a lot that we do not know about Starfield, but from what we do know, it's looking like it'll be one of the best Bethesda games to date. Now, I do want to point out before we start that this list will not contain two extremely obvious things: ship building and outpost designs. I feel like if you're watching this video, you probably know how incredibly in-depth the ship design and outpost design is in this game. This is a feature that I am anticipating just as much as you probably are, and it absolutely makes it into the top 5 things that I'm most excited for. But this video is going to focus more on things you may not have known, or that you knew but didn't know just how in-depth it was. I want it to be a little more unique than just ship design and outpost design with this list. So no one leave a comment about how I missed that in this video. Or do, I don't care. Now, here are the top 5 reasons that you should be excited about Starfield. Coming in at number 5, we have Piracy. This is something that was very briefly mentioned in the Starfield Direct that I believe is going to be incredibly fun. Coming across other space pirates, or being a space pirate yourself and engaging in battle against other ships is going to be an absolute blast. But something in particular that really stuck out to me was the fact that you can board other ships. This seemed to be brushed under the rug pretty quickly, and I haven't heard a whole lot of people mention how cool of a feature that is. If you're in the middle of a quest and trying to do something else and you're in a bit of a hurry, you can simply just loot the enemy ship you just destroyed from your cockpit. But if you'd like to, you have the option to board the ship and do more in-depth exploring and even take out some of the remaining crew. I think this could even potentially be a way to find some hidden loot or even a whole side quest. This is going to lead to some amazing encounters in the game that I'm very much looking forward to. I can't wait to be an outlawed space pirate. At number 4, we have the lore. I don't know about you guys, but when I play an RPG, I love to learn everything I possibly can about the world around me and the characters in it. If a game is done correctly, I will feel that it is my duty to learn all of the bits and pieces of lore the world has to offer. I don't want any quest, mission, encounter, or even one dialogue line to go over my head, and it already looks like Starfield will have outrageous amounts of lore ready to go for us. Add in the fact that they've come out with high-quality cartoon and live action videos about Starfield. If they're dumping money into coming out with very well done videos, there must be a good amount of lore within the game. Maybe that's not true, but I think it is. If there isn't an amazing story well worth playing, why make videos like these? Plus, these videos add a lot of rich information about the environment that we're about to step into. Again, furthering my excitement not only for the lore, but for what we're going to have the ability to do within the game. The story that they have set up seems to be enormous, much like the Fallout lore. I won't go as far as to say that it's as big as the Elder Scrolls lore, but the story seems like it will offer many wonderful quest lines and lots of bits of history to discover. Again, if the game is done well, I personally will dive so deep into the history of the world and the characters in it. Cyberpunk in particular was one that I dove incredibly deep into. The atmosphere of that game leaves you wanting to learn as much as possible about the world and the people residing in it. To me, it seems like Starfield is going to have lore so deep that it will take years to fully uncover, and that makes my pussy tingle.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Coming into the top 3, we have companions and lovers. In my personal opinion, I've always felt that Bethesda hasn't done the best job in the world at creating meaningful characters that you genuinely want to do more with. There are exceptions to this, and maybe you think I'm crazy for feeling this way, but I think that there haven't been overwhelmingly great characters in some Bethesda games. Characters who leave you wanting more. I don't think that will be the case with Starfield though. It looks as if they're trying out new relationship mechanics for the first time ever by introducing lovers and more in-depth friendships. Todd Howard mentioned in a podcast interview with Lex Fridman that there is a mechanic where, based on certain decisions you make, a companion can get temporarily upset with you, not speak with you, but then slowly go back to the relationship you had prior with that particular NPC. This level of immersion is really what makes an RPG world feel alive. Feeling like you genuinely want to know more about a specific character and their backstory, or what's currently going on with them, drives you to complete certain quests. This was accomplished extraordinarily well in Cyberpunk. The character interaction with NPCs in that game is done better than most games that I've played. That's not to say that Bethesda hasn't done this well in the past, but it seems like we will get much more entertaining quest lines that bring out emotions simply because of more well thought out characters. At number 2, we have weapons and mods. Starfield has a vast variety of weapons in the game. The loot system seems to be better than Fallout by far. They seem to have really taken their time creating a loot tier system that will truly matter in this game. Something I personally feel is lacking in the Fallout series. Yes, there are special weapons and there's somewhat of a loot tier system, but I feel that the looting in the Fallout series wasn't all that special personally. Now, from what we've seen in the small amount of footage that we have, there seems to be a colored rarity system for weapons, which I love. This means that there will be a large amount of different weapons of different rarity types that we will have the joy of testing throughout the game. That, of course, is interesting and fun. But what really piques my interest is the freedom of which we have to mod these weapons. Like in previous Bethesda entries, you have the ability to add attachments to weapons in order to make them perform better. You can change the optic, the mag, the muzzle, and even the type of rounds that fire from the gun. This type of customization, mixed with the sheer amount of different weapons, leads to an incredible gameplay experience full of testing out new and improved items as you play. We also got a peek at some required crafting components that are needed in order to craft a mod, including, but not limited to, adhesive, tetrafluoride, and lead. Some of those elements are acquired through your outpost or collecting them yourself on various different worlds, meaning that farming for materials is going to be so rewarding and fun. I also just love the way that they portray each weapon here, giving you a clear view of the weapon type, the rarity, and its stats. Some weapons also have unique effects, which in my opinion opens even more possibilities. The user interface is so simple and straightforward. It's not too complex to understand, and each weapon will be a blast to use. Now, before we get to number 1, I have an honorable mention. I wanted to mention this aspect of the game that was just recently confirmed by the developers. We will have player housing within not just one, but all of the major cities and settlements across the stars in the game. Much like previous Bethesda entries such as Skyrim, you're able to purchase homes within the game. That is making a wonderful return in Starfield, and I cannot wait to see what kind of homes I'm able to purchase within New Atlantis and other unknown settlements. Just imagining the most beautiful homes that they are going to create with the most breathtaking views is piquing my excitement even more. I just know that they're going to offer some truly awesome homes for your characters to reside in, and I cannot wait for it. And finally, at number 1, we have character customization and backgrounds. I'm not just talking about the physical appearance of your character, although that is a big part of what I'm excited about, and we'll touch on that here in just a minute. What I am mainly talking about is how much you can customize your character's background within this game. You're able to choose some entirely game-altering attributes to tie to your character that will stick with you for the remainder of the game. You're able to choose backgrounds that will affect you at some point. You may not know when it will, but your background will at some point have an effect and offer unique options. From what we've seen thus far, each background will offer dialogue options that could potentially lead to side quests, otherwise not available to those with different backgrounds. Each background also comes with a set of skills that will heavily impact gameplay. Obviously, you can invest in whatever skills you'd like as you play the game, but by selecting certain backgrounds, you will get a head start on certain skills, which you then can choose to continue investing in or go a different route. Not only that, but players can also choose up to 3 traits during their character creation process. Traits have a positive impact as well as a negative impact on gameplay for each character. For example, one of the traits we've seen is Hero Worshipped, where you have an adoring fan that will show up randomly throughout your adventures. If you're willing to put up with their interruptions and dialogue, they will give you gifts and even join your ship's crew. Another super interesting trait that I saw was one named Kid Stuff, which features your parents alive and well somewhere within the world. You're able to visit them often, but you will automatically send 2% of your credits home each week. I don't know what benefit will arise from being able to visit your parents, but I can only imagine it'll lead to some unique rewards or quest lines that otherwise would not be available. There is an insane amount of backgrounds, skills, and traits that you will be able to choose from when creating your character. This is going to give us so much variety and diversity between different playthroughs before even starting the game. Not to mention how advanced the character customization is. This is the most in-depth character creation in modern gaming. They used this character creation system to make all of the NPCs that you see in the game, so your character could look like any one of the characters within the game. You can customize any attribute you could possibly want. You can customize the shape of your head, your complexion, your chin, and even your neck. The character creation alone will take me 2 hours, and that is something I love to death. A good RPG will always allow you to fully immerse yourself before the game has even begun. The replayability seems to be truly endless with this game, and that is something I cannot wait for. I will be doing a 24-hour stream on September 1st, the day early access begins for Starfield. I couldn't be more excited about it, and these are my top 5 reasons why. This game seems like it will be a once-in-a-lifetime experience, one I've waited a long time for. Be sure to join the Discord. I'm giving away a copy of Starfield for any platform, and be sure to tune in on September 1st for my 24-hour stream. Hopefully this game doesn't launch like Cyberpunk did. We all know how big of a mess that was. Speaking of, what's Cyberpunk like these days?